Hello, back again. Obviously, again, this is not a live stream. This video is pre-recorded. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So yeah, but chat away. Leave a comment, as I say. But yeah, I mean, so many people do think I'm live. I'm not. So hopefully you read the ticker. Right, Karen Reid, hot topic. Do I think that Karen Reid should take the stand? Now, I'm a big advocate. I do not believe any defender should take the stand because I think you got nothing to gain. I didn't agree that Alex Murdoch took the stand. You saw how that happened. I mean, the guy was snotty, crying, and we had got a juror that said, "I looked him straight in his eyes. I was looking at him. He didn't show any emotion on there. He wasn't crying. There was no tears." It's like, the fuck? He was bawling his eyes out. So a juror or things like that who says there was no tears when they're just literally or 6 feet away from him or 10 feet away from him, like, you've got nothing to gain. Travis Rudolph, another case in Florida, he took the stand and he did very well. He kept his composure, everything, and he wanted. When the trial started, he was an NFL player. He was accused of um, killing a guy and injuring a lot of people when he shot at them. But essentially, he was acquitted because basically you could see that they went around to his house. They all started the fight, and he was just protecting himself and his family. And unfortunately, somebody died because of that. But he took a stand, and his lawyer said this in his opening statement said, "My client will 100% be taking the stand. He has nothing to hide." He did really well, but apart from maybe one or two people, I would never recommend doing it. And Karen's a different one. I see comments from people that hate her saying she's a vile person and that she's somebody, if she's put on the stand, jury gonna hate her because of her demeanor. Um, you know, I think she's very much a reactionary person, and by that I mean she doesn't take bullshit. If she doesn't like you, she doesn't like you. You can see in her mannerisms sometimes. She'll stare you down and stuff like that. So obviously people that hate her were like, "Oh, the jury gonna lap her up and absolutely despise her and stuff like that." She's gonna have to watch her emotions at trial because every defendant has to watch their emotions. I think she wears her sleeve on her heart on her sleeve though. I think what you see is what you get, and I love that. It's just you need to be a little bit careful. Unfortunately, it might be a case that she has to take the stand. I don't want her to take the stand, but one of the biggest things, whether people like it or not, whether you're in the anti Karen Reid or free Karen Reid groups, um, one of the big questions that has to be answered by the defense, and you can play it as you want. You can minimize it or make it a bigger deal than you need to, but she obviously said, "I hit him." Five people have heard her say it. Um, I personally don't think it's a massive deal because I think the way you say it is more important. I think it can be explained away. But if the defense can't explain that away, because the Commonwealth are gonna lap this up and be like, all five of those witnesses are gonna be up there, and they're all gonna be asked the same questions about how did you say it? What way did you say it? And they would be gonna be like, "Well, she just said I hit him, I hit him." They're not gonna be, like, sympathetic about it. If you think that they're gonna be sympathetic, forget about it, you know? If you believe there's conspiracy and all this, then you bet your bottom dollar that when they're on the stand, they're not gonna care about lying, and don't say that lightly. Um, so they're gonna make the Commonwealth are gonna make a huge deal about that. And as a juror, when you think about it, think yourself as a juror. How are you gonna interpret that? In all honesty, I mean, we can all think how we want to think about this, right? But if you've got an impartial jury there, I think the majority of people on jury are gonna be quite old because hand on heart, most people probably, if you're on social media, you've probably heard about this case, which is a good thing because it's highlighting Karen, but it's also a bad thing because that means if you're a little bit younger, tech savvy and stuff like that, you've probably heard about it, so you're probably not gonna be allowed to sit on this jury. I'm not trying to say that all people don't know how to use technology or use social media, nothing. I'm not trying to say that, but it's more the older you get, the less you're probably on social media. You know, you're probably not following Turtle Boy, you know. Um, so there might be people of age there that if they hear someone confess and say, and I'm speculating here, but I imagine if I was to ask my parents, like, "Oh, this woman said, oh, I hit him," they're probably going to be, "Well, she admitted to it. She's admitted to it." And I think that's what some people maybe speculating on the jury might think. So the defense is going to have to really explain that. But how do you explain it away? You can say about all these things, different mannerisms, and she meant it because she was in shock and stuff like that. But the jury might not believe and just be like, mm, I don't know. I think that's one of the things that they might want to hear from her, you know? About how did you say it, and she could reenact it possibly or something. I don't know. I'm just speculating here, and this is just a discussion point. I'm not saying I'm right in any of these things, um, but I'm trying to get people to think differently. I'm trying not to get people to think, "Well, no, she said it this way. She didn't mean it." Like, but think about it from a juror's point of view now. Don't think about how you would think of it. How do you think a jury is going to interpret this? That hearing it maybe for the first time. How bad does that look? So that's why I'm asking the question whether she would take the stand. Even then, I'm not sure I'd want her to take the stand to explain it. But tell you what, I've seen people be convicted for less, and for a lot of people and juries, unless you can explain those little things, then that's enough to convict. As bizarre as that is, people will convict on basically anything if it doesn't make sense to them. I hate saying that, but it's true. It's absolutely true. You know, obviously, grand jury, they can indict the, ham sandwich, you know, that's the big laugh about it. But jury need to see some reason. Um, obviously, it depends on how the rest of the case goes, but that's also depending on what, Judge Bev allows in. She's not gonna allow everything in. Everything we know about this case, she's not gonna allow in. There's there's things that she will, um, say, "Nope." I wonder if she's gonna allow in, I don't think she will probably, but Trooper Proctor being an investigation lead investigator, probably not. So jury probably will never know that there's any kind of conflict unless obviously it comes back that, you know, huge news from it. But if it comes back as a nothing burger, they're probably not gonna know anything about any kind of investigation or how he was involved with, the McAlberts and stuff like that. So yeah. I'm just trying to think out loud about, as I say, how a jury is going to think. So I've obviously come into this case with, I think people know I've covered this on Based on the Taillight and stuff, and some Gemma Cave's comments. Um, I'm 100% going into this trial, obviously with her being innocent. I'm going in with an open mind. I've not looked at all these videos about the presumed dog bites or, I've touched upon hypothermia and stuff like that, but I'm waiting on the experts on both sides to speak about those things. I'm trying to go in with a as much as I can an open mind That's quite rare because most people have picked their sides by now. I haven't. I don't believe she should be going to trial. But that's one thing. Once we're at trial, I will assess the evidence as I see fit. Um, from everything I'm hearing at the minute, obviously, I still think she's got a straight. I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say there. I still think she's got a huge case, and a lot of evidence to, to show that she's not guilty. But until it's shown in the court of law, all I'm doing is speculating. But yeah, this is, as I say, I wanted to speak about whether she should take a stand. I mean, it plays in my mind a little bit. We won't know officially, obviously, until the end of the trial. I mean, and she can wait until then to make it. But that's my biggest question mark is that I hit him statement. And as I say, it depends on what side you're on. It all depends on, how big a deal it was. Now, obviously, Gemma Cave's gonna also say that Karen told her to search about how long to die in the cold and stuff like that. Um, there's gonna be big testimony from them about the crack. Obviously, 1 minute Jen says there's a crack there. Next minute she says it was smashed. 2 months later, in the report, there's a lot of stuff here that you know juries are fickle. They're like a jigsaw piece. They don't get all everything that we're seeing. They won't see everything that we've now seen. Or there's still a ton more stuff coming in that we haven't seen. Um, yeah, so as unpopular as this might be, these statements, because I think people haven't thought about this, but and maybe because people don't watch trials that often. I watch every day, pretty much 6 days a week, watch some sort of trial. Uh, honestly, I've seen people convicted for less than a statement of "I hit him." There's a lot here that, if this goes to trial, which I think it will now, unless the defense can trip Gemma Cabe and all them up, they're all gonna put it on Karen. And as a juror, you're gonna be like, "Oh, Jesus, yeah. Why are all these" like, so a lot of people on the anti-Karen Reid side are all saying, "Oh, look at this, all these conspiracies. How did 30 people all align? Blah, 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 blah." Doesn't mean it's 30 people involved in this. It only takes a handful of people involved to set it up. And a jury might be like, "Well, it's impossible." So I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box about how some of this evidence. I mean, again, what will be quashed, what will be suppressed by Judge Bev that we will never get to see. I don't know. We don't know what the jury is going to be able to see. To know what evidence will be submitted and what they'll be basing the decision on. That's why it's scary. That's why I don't want this to go to trial. As much as everyone else wants it to go to trial, I don't, because I don't believe that the evidence is there that through the arrest warrant affidavit that she should be up for murder. This isn't a game, but unfortunately, most people are treating it like a game. So yeah, it's just I'd say just a little bit of a tidbit. There's other reasons maybe why she should take the stand as well, but that's the big thing for me is how are they going to explain that. And please, even if you're like on the free can read, don't start to say to me that, oh, it's a mannerism. She didn't mean to say that. I know that, but a jury are different. A jury might be hearing this for the first time, and the state, the Commonwealth, then are gonna bang in that she admitted to it. And you can see people on Twitter say all the time she admitted to it. These people are going to be on the jury or people of similar mindset could be on the jury. So the defense really, 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 really need to hone in on this. And that's why I think the only way they can really hone in on it and explain it is by putting her on the stand, even though I hate to say that. Anyway, Interested to hear your thoughts. And with that, I'll end the stream there. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Cheers.